Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're installing brand new rear suspension components from Truhart. I'm not sponsored by them. This is just the setup I chose at the time, and I'll be sharing my honest thoughts on both the parts and the brand. Stick around till the end because you won't want to miss the free info I'm about to drop. It could save you time, money, and headaches. The angle isn't the best here, but what I'm doing is bolting the spindle knuckle onto the trailing arm so we can get this brand new wheel hub installed. Now we're going to use this 20-ton shop press to install the new Truhart rear trailing arm bushings. These bushings get the job done, but if you don't have access to a press, you might want to check out the rear trailing arm spherical kit. That offers a different approach to both installation and performance. Now it's time to install the rear wheel hubs. For my build, I went with a set from Detroit Axle. They make solid, good quality parts. But if your budget allows, sticking with OEM hubs is always the best move. For me, I couldn't stretch it that far this time. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade to OEM, but who knows. Now we're going to torque the hub spindle nut down to 134 foot-pounds to factory spec. Next, we'll be installing the rear toe kit along with the rear camber kit. Before bolting them in, I'm going to adjust them to match the factory arms we just removed. This should make the alignment process a lot easier once the car is up and running. So far, all these parts look solid, good quality, easy to adjust, and a nice finish overall, so I think Truhart is holding up pretty well for now. I'm coating all the suspension bolts with anti-seize to make sure rust never becomes an issue down the road. Wow, it's already looking so much better. What a difference, freshly painted parts and new components installed. I actually caught myself just staring at the trailing arm for a few minutes, but I'm really impressed with how this build is coming along. Now it's time to move on to the new rear control arms, which also have a great finish and feel like solid quality parts. Finally, the coilovers showed up, but it almost felt too good to be true. After making some adjustments and comparing them to the old ones, I ran into a problem. The nut side, which is basically a round threaded piece, wasn't straight, so the bolt wouldn't thread in. To fix it, I had to cut the factory welds, hold it in place with locking pliers. To remove the factory paint, I filed it down to bare metal so we could weld and fix the issue properly. And re-weld it using my flux core machine. It's messy, but that's what I've got to work with. After that, I cleaned it up and painted the area using an old school trick with a sponge. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this kind of issue from a $550 coilover kit, especially since these don't even have adjustable dampers. If you're shopping around, I'd suggest looking into newer brands that offer better quality and more features. It got late on me today, but I'm heading to bed with the rear side fully assembled, and that feels great. The next morning, I repeated the process on the passenger side trailing arm. This time, the coilover went in without any issues. The nut was fine, thank God. You're probably wondering why I'm removing these bolts if everything's already assembled. Well, that's because I've got a polished subframe brace and a Truhart rear tie bar going in next. These will not only give the rear suspension a cleaner, more finished look, but also add strength and stability. The subframe brace reinforces the factory piece to reduce chassis flex and increase rigidity, while the rear tie bar ties the suspension points together to prevent distortion under hard cornering. And now we can officially say the entire rear suspension is fully assembled. Next, we'll move on to installing the brake discs, calipers, and brake lines. For the calipers, I went with aftermarket powder-coated red ones. And for the brake discs, I grabbed a drilled and slotted rotor kit off eBay. Nothing too crazy, just a fresh set of brakes to get the job done for now. Before installing the brake pads, I applied some high-temp grease to the hardware and a light coat on the pads where they make contact. For the brake lines, I went with StopTech, one of the best brands out there from the research I did. Now I'm installing an OEM brake hose lock clip to secure the line in place. And this is how the fully assembled rear suspension looks, a huge step forward in the build. Honestly, I can't wait to keep stacking up more results. What do you guys think of the progress so far? Let me know in the comments below. Now it's time to move on to the front, starting with the new coilovers, followed by the lower control arms with pillow ball joints. These Truhart front lower control arms are cast steel for added strength and come with spherical pillow ball bearings instead of the stock rubber bushings. That means a much more direct road feel compared to OEM, and just to be clear, I'm not sponsored by Truhart or any other brand. I honestly wish I was, but for now it's all out of pocket. Alright guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the build so far and want to keep up with the progress, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe because there's plenty more to come.